This is the top plate for the wheel assembly. I have the isometric here, and let's look at a few dimensions before we actually get started. The overall dimension is 5.25 in this direction and 3.25 in this direction. So we're going to take that rectangle and extrude it the entire distance of 0.625. We'll then come back in with two rectangles and dimension them to 1.5 here and over here, and cut them down in 0.125. We'll then come on the opposite side and put another rectangle in and cut it down 0.125. Please notice that these are not the same right here. We'll then put a fillet on all the corners. That fillet is a radius of 0.5. On the center of all those fillets, we will put 4 holes with a diameter of 0.375. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a new part file open. I have set up my options so that my grid is turned on. And on this one, I'm going to start on the top plane instead of the front plane. So I have the top plane, always turn it normal 2, sketch, toolbar, and activate a sketch. So instead of a corner rectangle, I'm going to use a little down arrow right there and do a center rectangle. So on the center rectangle, I'm going to click on the center of the origin and just pull a rectangle. Again, it doesn't matter what size it is because we know we're going to come back and smart dimension it. So now I'm going to find the smart dimension button. Our overall distance this way was 5.25. So I'm going to dimension that one, and our overall dimension this direction was 3.25. So there is my rectangle, and I'm ready to extrude it. So I'm going to go to Features, Extrude, and my extrusion on that was 0.625. And check mark, and there is our base for our top plate. So let's go ahead and go on this surface, normal 2 again, sketch, sketch. This time, instead of a center point rectangle, I'm going to use a corner rectangle. I'm going to put 2 of them on. So I'm going to put one over here and put one over here. My dimension on that is 1.5. And there's lots of ways I can dimension that. I can go edge to edge and put in 1.5. Or I could just click on that line right there and make it 1.5. So there's my 2 rectangles. I'm ready to cut those in. So I'm going to go to Features and Extrude Cut. So I want those to cut in 0.125. Check mark. So there is that side. So let's come on the other side. And I click on the surface, normal 2, sketch, sketch, corner rectangle again. Now I need to be careful not to attach it to that point that's on the other side. So I've got to be careful with that. So I want it to be on the edge but not on that point. So I'm just going to click there and down here somewhere. And let's smart dimension that. The dimension on that one is 1.75 on this area and this area. It does not give me the center area. I could do some subtraction, but I don't want to do that. So I can click on this edge over here and this line, and I can dimension that to 1.75. And I can do the same thing for the other side. So I'm going to click on the edge, click on the edge of the line, 1.75. And I have it centered in the middle. Excuse me. Let's go to Features, and we're going to cut that, and we want to cut that down in 0.125 again, check mark. And we're ready to go. The next step on this is to put our fillets in. So I'm going to click on the fillet button, click on the edge of all those corners, and one more. Our fillet size is 0.5, check mark, and now I have all my fillets in. We have one more sketch to do, so I'm going to click on that surface, activate a sketch. Yep, I forgot to do normal 2, so let's get normal 2 in there. And here's my circle button. If I just hold it on the fillet, it brings up the center, so I'm just going to click there, hold it, and then click in the center. Now it doesn't matter what size my circles are again. So hold on the edge of the fillet, and it'll bring up the center point. Now we just need to dimension. So let's put in, I think the dimension is 0.375. So we're just going to go through and dimension all those. We have to make sure they're all the same so that our bolt goes through correctly. So now I have all of them 0.375, and notice I have my my round off. It's rounding to 2 decimal places, but 0.375 rounds up to 0.38. So that's okay. So let's go to Features and Cut, and we're going to cut that through all. Check mark. And let's go ahead and change this to a different color. So I'm going to go up here to Part 3, go over to my tool or my color palette, and let's make that one a nice blue color. And check mark, and that one is ready to be saved in our U drive as your name and the top plate.